Alright, today I have a 1995 BMW 740i. And the parts that I have on the bench right now are to a transmission called a ZF5HP30 that was only in production for a couple of years. I honestly have never overhauled one of these. But the transmission is similar to a 5HP24. One thing within this transmission there is a drum that you really can't take apart because you need special tools. There's no snap ring. I think the drum actually, once the drum gets put together, the drum gets crimped, and then you would need special tools to uncrimp it, overhaul the drum, and put it back together. But if I ever do overhaul one of these, I would just send the drum out to Ericsson's because they have the tooling to do that, and then they would just do that and send it back to me. So again, ZF5HP30. All right, what the problem is with this, again, I rarely see these, so I don't know if this can be considered a common problem, but I'm going to be calling Ericsson's this morning because I just figured out what's going on with this last night around like 5:30. So this car belongs to one of the guys at the parts places that we buy some parts from, and we overhauled his other BMW that had a 5L40 in it. He was very happy with it, so we brought this one back for us to look at. So what's going on with this is when the car heats up, you cannot move, I felt it, you cannot move the shifter. When the car is cold, it's fine. You can go reverse, drive, park, whatever. As soon as it heats up, that sucker's not moving. So what we did, we went by process of elimination. All right, so we lifted up in the air, took the covers down so we can see everything, and then on the one side of the on the opposite side of the linkage where the cable hooks up is the neutral safety switch. All right, so the first thing we did is we took the safety switch down, neutral safety switch down. But we did leave the car. We needed to get it off the lift, so we actually did leave the car in park, so the neutral switch would be in park so we can get it started. Didn't work that great, sometimes had no reverse and stuff like that, but that's because the switch was not hooked up. And that didn't fix it, so we got it back in the shop, put the switch back on. The next thing we did was we disconnected the cable from the linkage that's attached to the transmission. All right, and then the shifter moved fine. All right, so now we know it's inside the transmission. All right, it's either the linkage piece, the bar that goes across, you know, that looks like this. The linkage would hook up here and the neutral switch is here, so this goes across the whole length of the transmission. Or it's the manual valve that's getting jammed inside the valve body. So this thing, of course, it has to be hot for this to happen. So this thing is super hot. We dropped the pan. I got the pan here and the filter and this piece called the oil tank. And we're looking at it, I'm moving it with a channel lock, and it didn't really look that great how this manual valve was moving. So what I did was I dropped the lower front half of the valve body like you would on a 5HP24, and then the linkage with the linkage arm going across the transmission moved nice and free. So now we know the problem. Of course it's moving nice now because it's cold, is the manual valve. So, like I said, I'm going to call Ericsson's this morning. I'm sure these guys heard of this because all these guys do is ZFs. And I'm thinking I'm going to probably be getting a manual valve and maybe even the lower front portion of the valve body. So when this thing was hot, this here sits in a track. I'll give you a close-up shot of this, just like the 5HP24. But I'm telling you, this thing, you couldn't even move it. I think the material swells up, and it just does not move. What I can do is soak this thing in the tank if I can get this thing hot enough. I don't know if I'll be able to, or how long it's going to have to stay in there to show you guys that it binds up. So I'm going to give you guys a close-up shot of this. I'm going to take this manual valve out. All right, even now. Okay. So this is what the valve looks like. I just want to show you now because I want to stick it in the tank. and see if I can get this thing heated up to put it back in here. Again, not really sure how long it's going to stay in there, but I'm going to show you the pan filters, and I'm going to show you underneath with the pan down, you see the valve body, you know, what the unit looks like. I'll give you a shot of that as well. All right, so let me put this in the tank, and then we're going to get a close-up shot of the parts on the bench and then go over to the car. All right, so here is the lower front half of the valve body. I mean, it looks almost exactly like the 5HP24. It has the lineup pin. Pressure regulator valve is in here. So that is the lower front half of the valve body. Okay. This is what the filter looks like. It, you know, back here also is similar to the 5HP24. That's what the filter looks like. And of course, you need your O-ring here and 2 bolts holding this filter on. All right, now here, I actually had to look up the name of this thing, but they call this the oil tank. And it's not really a filter, it's just, I guess, a storage. Oil gets in there and doesn't really call it a filter, but when you drop this, this will come down with the pan. It actually sits, you got 3 little tabs that stick down, and that's going to sit just like that. And this is this huge pan. I bought a gasket for this. So when we put this back together, I put in a gasket on, and the gasket alone, the paper gasket OE was like $30 or $33. All right, you want to drain it, you can drain it here. And then filling it, you're going to fill it through here. Fill it through there until it runs out. A lot of fluid came out when we dropped this pan. All right, so that's what that looks like. Here's the filter. Now, buddy, I got that soaking in the tank. So what I'm going to do now is give you guys a shot of underneath the car, or with the pan down. I want to show you what it looks like with the pan down, and then we'll see if that thing got hot enough to stick in the bore with the the valve body here. So let me just clean this down, and then we'll head over to the car, give you a shot of that. All right, so let me take the camera off the tripod, and I will give you a shot underneath. All right, I'll be right back. All right, quick shot. 5HP30 with the pan down and the lower front half of the valve body down. There's your input speed sensor right there. All right, solenoids and lower rear half. All right, and then we're going to come around in the corner. Right over there is your output speed sensor. You can see that. All right, there's your output speed sensor. And that's what it looks like. Okay, so I got that manual valve soaking in the hot tank, and I'm going to go grab it and let's see what happens when we put it into the bore of the valve body. All right, so I'm going to get that, and I will be right back. Okay, let's see how this goes in. All right, well, it's a little tight right here. It was getting there, but probably got to soak for a while. Very, very tight here initially going in. Okay. All right, well, that's the problem with this though. It is the manual valve. So I'm going to, like I said, call Ericsson's today. I mean, the car is here, we're fixing it. And then I'm gonna have, I'll continue filming once I get the parts. I hope I'll be able to continue filming. I mean, I don't think he's really that, he has a few cars, so I don't think he's really that much in a hurry for it, but I will let you know if I'm just changing the manual valve, or if I'm going to change the manual valve and the casting. I'm going to put a new filter in it, new fluid, new pan gasket, and fix it up for him. So again, it is a 1995 BMW 740i. The problem is when the car gets hot, the shifter absolutely will not move because the manual valve is binding. All right, I mean, this is moving nice, but I'm telling you, you can't even move this thing when this car is hot. So, should be a follow-up video. I'm hoping. And then we will go from there. So, for now, thanks for watching. Have a great day. And we will see you next one. Okay, so update on this 95 BMW 740i with the manual valve that gets, you cannot move it when it gets hot. You cannot move the shifter when it gets hot. So they have a different style manual valve. All right, so this one, I guess, is made of, I don't know, some kind of plastic material. And this one here is made of metal. This is the updated valve. And when I was looking at the invoice, when I got it today, it said manual valve 5HP30/24/19. So I'm assuming this would fit on the others as well. But I actually would want to match it up just to make sure of that. But you know, for sure, we definitely have the same. We definitely have the same valve here. You know, but I'll give you a close-up shot of this. But this one is more like a plastic, and I guess these here, when it gets hot, it expands. And this one now, made of metal, that won't happen. And the bore should be fine, so I don't have to really worry about that. So we'll just slide this thing in here. I'll give you a shot of this. This fits nice. And of course, you got to make sure that the manual valve goes into the track of the valve body, but I'll get up nice and close with that one. All right, so this filter kit I got straight out of, I'm hoping you can see that, but I'll give you a close-up shot of this too. Straight out of ZF, where they have the supplier or one of the warehouses in Chicago had a drop shipped to me through Ericsson. So I have the kit, I have the filter, it comes with bolts and a new O-ring. And again, you know, made in Germany. I looked at the filter, it says Filtran, made in Germany. Okay, this kit, $116. But that's what I would use. I wouldn't go with anything other than that. You know, I can probably get an aftermarket filter, honestly, I don't know, maybe 40 bucks, but I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use it if you gave it to me. All right, so again, we got the oil tank, but let me give you a close-up shot of this stuff here. And then tomorrow morning, it's just a matter of putting the front lower half back into the car, new filter, place the oil tank on the pan. It'll sit in the pan as the pan goes up. And here's the gasket. And again, OE gasket. This gasket I think is a little over $30, but you know, BMW, I like to use the good stuff. All right, so let me get a little closer, quick shot of this stuff. And then I have some other things that I got to do, but this will be done by tomorrow morning, so I wanted to get this now after hours, just to give you the update and the fix for this 5HP30 when the car gets hot. This is the first time I've actually seen this. Of course, I call Ericsson's and I ask them about it, and you know, they know. He says, oh yeah, you need the metal valve, because all these guys work with is ZF units, that's it. So let me give you a close-up shot of this stuff here, and we'll finish out this 5HP30 video. Okay, the lower front half of the valve body. All right, new manual valve. And again, when you put this in, you know, you'd be lined up already, but you got to make sure this goes into the track. So this valve stays, you know, runs true. So this will sit in the track, it'll run in the track, and all will be good. All right, and here is the old one, and even that still, you know, gives you a hard time going in. But that's it. This is the fix. All right. I was asking about the casting of the lower front valve body. He said just change the valve and you're good to go. So that is ready. All right. And here is my nice filter for this 5HP30. And right in here, we got Filtran, made in Germany. This is the first time I had a filter kit like this. You get 2 bolts and a new O-ring. All right, and again, there's the part number there. I think that's the part number. Well, there's another number here. They only made this transmission a couple of years. It's not a very popular transmission. And what I'll do also is I'm going to look at the receipt. This doesn't have it on it. This is just what they shipped it in. But I'll look on the receipt and I'll get the part number to this valve and I'll put that in the description when I post this video up. All right, so again, 1995 BMW 740. And the problem was when the car heated up, that shifter absolutely would not move. If you were in park, it would not move out of park. If you were in drive, it would not move until it cooled down. All right, so first thing we did, again, we removed the safety switch, the neutral safety switch. That didn't do anything, and then we removed the linkage, you know, so now we just have the lever coming off the transmission, and the shifter was fine, so we know we're dealing with inside the transmission. Drop the pan. At this point, it's either the linkage rod that will go across or the manual valve, so this thing was, you know, boiling hot, and I had to drop the valve body out so I can know what's going on with this thing. And when I did, I moved the linkage, and the linkage moved free, no problem. So that brought me to the conclusion of the manual valve. All right, and I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.